California's housing supply and affordability crisis continues to be the stuff of real estate nightmares. On the supply side, California is short between 2 and 3 million housing units, and new housing construction just isn't moving fast enough to close the gap. On the affordability side, last year the median price of a California home rose to a record-busting $900,000, and a recent state study reports homes on the market are twice as expensive as the rest of the U.S. Such trends have many Californians asking themselves whether they really belong here and can ever build decent lives for themselves in the Golden State. But it's not all bad news in California's housing market. There is a family of homes where construction is booming, and the cost of the dwellings, at least by California standards, is pretty modest. We're talking about small prefabricated homes, everything from accessory dwelling units to tiny mobile homes on wheels.
So thank you so much. We'll be moving in 4 and 5 at a time, and happy to answer any questions about the Isabella. Come on up.
Those kind of homes were on display recently at the Tinyfest Homes Festival at the Del Mar Fairgrounds north of San Diego. Who came? Well, lots of Californians who want to find an affordable place to live and feel small home living might be the best way to do it.
So why are you here?
Because I'm interested in building a tiny home for my family. Housing market right now is ridiculously crazy, and you can't afford it right now. It's like you have to have a crazy down payment on top of student loans for my husband and I. So we're thinking about getting a tiny home for ourselves, our dog, and our 2-year-old son. So yeah.
Others here like the idea of small home living because of their age and changing life circumstances.
I'm looking at the next chapter of my life. I'm 60, I'm single, I'm mostly retired, and I want a new chapter in my life, and downsizing, I think, is a good idea.
And the tiny home builders at this festival were ready to show off their products, like Jonathan Paley, the co-founder of Clever Tiny Homes. His message, living in less square footage doesn't have to mean sacrifice.
What we're looking at here is a 400 square foot unit that has everything you need to live and is super comfortable to live in, but is affordable and very space efficient. We've got a big kitchen here. We've got a movable island so you can adjust it to, whether you want a big family cooking or maybe a party like we have. We've got our living room over here that you can see, space for a TV against that wall, nice big windows, very open, tall space. A lot of the idea of what we do is that you can get a really high quality, high-end home. This is well insulated, well built, going to last a long time.
There's no skimping here.
There's no skimping here, but this home is $120,000, $130,000.
And in a state where $1 million homes are a dime a dozen, that price point can't be ignored, says Jenny Crane of Rebuilding Green, which promotes small home communities.
The potential is huge. I say for the price of one home, even just in Southern California, you can have a village. So why not?
California's ADU market in particular has gone from barely nothing to thousands of units produced annually in recent years. That after the state legislature passed statewide ADU rules in 2016. Now about 1 in every 5 housing units produced in California is an accessory dwelling unit. And then there's the ADU's cousin, the mobile tiny home on wheels. A handful of cities have made it easier to place such homes on parcels of land for long-term living, but they use a variety of names for them, says tiny home advocate Harvey Hardwick.
Okay, so what this map shows you is all the jurisdictions in the state of California that allow you to place movable tiny homes. And what this shows is what they're called in each one of those jurisdictions. Like you'll see the city of Riverside, they're called movable accessory dwelling units, a MADU, right? Instead of an ADU, it's put the movable on the front of there. In San Jose, they're just called tiny homes on wheels. In Fresno, they're called backyard cottages.
And whether they're on wheels or not, small home advocates say such dwellings can also help with the housing supply shocks created by natural disasters, like the recent LA fires that destroyed thousands of homes.
And what we're working with fire victims in LA is that they can get a home like this, get it on their lot once they go back to the lot, and they're allowed to park it as an RV while they rebuild their primary residence. So you buy this, you live in it as an RV, you're rebuilding the primary residence. Once you build that primary residence, then you can install it as a permanent ADU on foundation. And so we've innovated and come up with this new product, which is a RV plus modular product. I think we're the first to market or in the market with that, really to try to solve that fire victim things. And we think that's a really great solution that we're working with people on.
But tiny homes have their critics, people who say such dwellings are often bought not to solve a community's housing problems, but rather as an investment opportunity to use as short-term rentals. Many who attended Tinyfest were interested in just that.
How serious are you about buying one of these homes?
Pretty serious. Multiples of these.
Multiples?
Yeah.
And
Looking
doing
at
what
a
with
tiny
them?
home community.
A tiny home community that you would rent out? Or?
Yeah, Airbnb it.
Oh, Airbnb it. So you see this, you see income opportunity.
I see income revenue opportunity, yes.
Despite changes to state law, there are also plenty of California cities that still oppose tiny homes because of NIMBYism and a general housing bias.
Of 482 jurisdictions, there's only 20 that are tiny friendly. So we got a lot more work to do. However,
Wait, say that again.
out of 482 jurisdictions, only 20 are tiny friendly.
Tiny friendly being.
They allow these types of movable tiny homes on your property. Yeah, so we have a lot more work to do.
Tiny home champions say if California is serious about solving its housing crisis, it has to change how it builds homes and not be afraid to think small. I'm Saul Gonzalez.